please start public comment.
Carolyn Hickerson, please.
There we go. Hi. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Doc is missing. My name is Carolyn Hickerson and I reside in Deltona. I stand before you tonight to appeal to your sensibilities because I care deeply about our city and the health of our local democracy. I want to begin by thanking each of you for your service. Choosing to sit in those chairs and carry the weight of our community's challenges is no small task. And I respect the time and dedication you bring to the dais. I'm here tonight to address the changes in the public forum, specifically the installation of the physical rope barriers between the public and this commission, and the removal of online citizen spaces from our meetings. I understand the desire for order and safety. Governance requires structure. The physical barriers do more than manage space. They send a message. When you place barriers between yourselves and the residents you represent, it creates a visual and symbolic divide. It implies the public is a threat to be managed, rather than partners to be heard. We are your neighbors, your constituents, and the very people who trusted you to lead. We should be standing together in this room, not divided by barriers. Equally concerning is what is happening on our digital screen. By removing the faces during public comments, you are diminishing the presence of residents who, for work, family, or health reasons, cannot be here in person. Civic engagement shouldn't require physical presence to be fully recognized. Facial expressions and presence add humanity and context to public comment. Stripping those away reduces community members to disembodied voices, making it easier to ignore the real human impact to the decisions made in this room. Transparency isn't just about allowing people to speak. It's about fully seeing and hearing them when they do. Good governance relies on trust, and trust is built on open doors. Clear-sighted sightlines and mutual respect. Order does not require separation, and safety does not require silence. I respectfully ask this commission to take down the barriers, restore full visual representation for our community. Let's show our city that we trust our residents, value full transparency, and believe in the best decisions that are made, and believe that the best decisions are made when the gap between the dais and the public is as small as possible. I hope, in turn, the community will return the favor by behaving in a respectful manner. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Robert Wilson, please.
Hello again. I've lived here for 20 years, and I am here to talk about family and child safety. And I hope that this body can exercise its discretion to elevate that. And it's going to be in reference to this one particular substance, alcohol. Now, alcohol, for many people in this room that don't know it, okay, alcohol is also ethanol. Recreational alcohol is ethanol. And you might recognize that word if you've been to the gas station and put gasoline in your car. That is what ethanol is. It is used industrially, creating fragrances, and it's also creating antibacterial lotions. And this is what we are showing our children and indicating to families that it's safe to consume. It is not safe to consume alcohol in any form whatsoever. Alcohol accounts for approximately 178,000 deaths a year in this country. And to put it in perspective, there's about 500,000 deaths that occur because of tobacco, about 300 to 400,000 deaths that occur because of obesity, 178,000 because of tobacco or alcohol, and about 80,000 because of all pharmaceuticals. Let's put that in perspective a little bit. Ethanol is not compatible with our biochemistry in any way whatsoever. And it is actually, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified it as a type 1 carcinogen in 1988, 2 years after tobacco received that type of classification, and 10 years later, when asbestos and radiation received that same classification. That classification means that irrefutably alcohol causes cancer. But cancer only accounts for about 5% of the total deaths when it comes to that. What really, most of the deaths come from chronic conditions from habitual alcohol use. Now, what I would like to see, because I know that when I've cleaned up these streets on occasion, that I've noticed buzz balls and little fireball bottles that are thrown around the educational, around the schools. That means that children that are in middle school and high school are basically stealing the alcohol that is readily within reach. It's not behind a locked counter like cigarettes are in any way whatsoever. Okay? It's easy to obtain alcohol. And really, I think that leadership is not as much about creating laws as much as it is about setting examples. And so I would invite this body to set an example, exclude alcohol from any type of reunion, and see what they can do.
Sir, thank you.
Dana McCool, please.
All that. Hi, Dana McCool, Deltona, Florida, addressing the commission, mayor, and every interested party. Two things I'd like to talk about this evening. One is the senior prom happening at the center on August 23rd. I will tell you some of what we have already done. We put the call out to the fire department to have some firefighter volunteers to come in to dance and cut a rug with some of our seniors. VSO is welcome to join us also, because I know that you love community service. So I'm sure that you'll make that happen with me. I'd like to think that everybody that has volunteered so far back here in this audience, we have an amazing group of people that is working to do this. We are taking donations for this because it is self-funded. We do not want to be a burden on the city, and so any help that the city would like to give us would be so appreciated, but we're not asking, we're privately funding this year. So far, we've had some amazing sponsors step forward. So it will be a dinner and sit-down dance. There are flyers provided at the center with a QR code so that they can register online. There's flyers to take out in the community available, and there are also a paper registration form located in the center at Council on Aging for people to register, and we will stop taking registrations on August the 18th, I believe. But they are there now, so register. It is completely free for our seniors to attend. You can donate if you like, but it's certainly not a requirement. We want everyone to be able to attend. So there's that. Another thing I would like to, and I will be speaking about this up until the event time, is Wig Out for Cancer. Wig Out for Cancer is a nonprofit under Deltona Strong. You can look us up. We have been a nonprofit for 7 years. All of our paperwork is certainly up to date and required, and everything that we do is community related. Wig Out for Cancer is an event that we have annually. This is our 4th year. We raise funds for cancer patients in Volusia County. It's limited to Volusia County. You come. We invite people to come from the medical community, from our community. You put forth someone that you know that might benefit if they're underfunded financially. It is a great time to come. Contrary to what's been posted, it is not a political event, but we do have a lot of politicians that come because they are community warriors. And I applaud them for coming to that unashamed and supporting a cancer initiative. So there is that. I'd like to invite you for that. That is September 25th. The center is our home operating base for that event every year because we love Deltona. We love supporting our tax base in Deltona, so we have chosen to have it for the last 4 years now in Deltona at the center. It is a beautiful venue. So we're inviting everybody to come out. I have invitations. You can call me. You can be a sponsor. We love our sponsor, but it's not required. Get a bunch of friends, come out for dinner and a special show this evening. It will be an amazing time, so I encourage you to come. So thank you all.
Richard Bell, please.
Good evening. Mrs. McCool's trying to get me to go to the dance contest. That's only because I won the first Deltona dance contest. Now, second, Mayor, I see on Volusia County Clerk's website your mother got evicted again. Is there anything I can do to help out? Huh? No answer? I also want to find out what you're getting from welfare, the state, as your part-time mayor, your subsidies, your rent is paid, you get food stamps. Why isn't these things revealed? I mean, we got veterans here, they don't care.
Mr. Bellick, what is your regress?
Just what I said, I want to find out what you get from welfare, children, and
I don't have
families.
welfare
why your rent has been paid, and why you've been on welfare since you're 29 and you're 47 now. That's what I want to find out. I want to see the paperwork. This is America. This ain't Havana, Cuba. This is America. Divulge it. Show what you get. You get $16,000 a year, but yet you pay about $19,000 in rent. Come on. Then you come out with a story, oh, my wife works. Your wife only worked for 2 months. Stop the nonsense. And let me tell you something. You're the lower rung of Deltona. How you ever got there is beyond me. You are a sad, sorry person. A leech.
Emily Helberger, please.
Sir, I think you used your phone? Someone's phone?
Might be Dana's.
My apologies. All right, that's comfortable, but good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I just want to speak with you about the communication between the city and its residents. Last week I was in Los Angeles for work while my teenager was home alone while my husband was at work locally. And she woke up to no water in the house. I thought maybe the auto pay went wrong again. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. But about 30 minutes later, a paper notice was placed on our door explaining that there had been a water main break and that a boil water notice followed that lasted 48 hours. As a parent who was across the country, I immediately tried calling customer service, and I sat on hold for about 45 minutes, and I couldn't get an answer from them, so I hung up. When I went looking online, I checked the city's website and social media, and I couldn't find anything about the water main break or a boil water notice. Deltona Water already has our addresses, our phone numbers, and email addresses. This seems like a perfect opportunity to create a notification system that sends emails or text messages to affected residents. Something as simple and quick as an alert would have saved me a lot of worry and confusion while I was away. Today I also called the Public Works because work had started on my street without any notice I had seen. Unfortunately, the first person who answered was unnecessarily rude when all I wanted to know was what was happening in my neighborhood. I was eventually transferred to someone who explained it was a mill and pave project, and he did point me to where this information could be found online, but the problem is that you would only know where to look for that if you already know what kind of project was happening, and that's not really effective communication, in my opinion. If the city knows work is scheduled on a street, residents should know too. We already provide our contact information, so let's use it, bridge that gap of communication, because good communication prevents confusion, reduces phone calls to staff, and builds trust with residents. Lastly, quickly, I just wanted to address some discussion about agri-hood developments, and I owe the mayor a call back, but I just want to be clear that I support growing food and creating a strong local food culture. What I don't support is the idea that we need expensive, massive planned agri-hood developments to accomplish that. Deltona has everything that we need. We have backyards, neighborhoods, community garden. My husband and I have 2 raised beds and a small fruit forest in our backyard. And over the last 2 seasons, we've grown more produce than our family could eat, and we've shared that with our neighbors and experienced firsthand how gardening brings people together. An agri-hood will look appealing to the brochure, but it often comes with higher HOA prices and things like that. My time's up. I'll email the rest. Thank you.
Tim Blodgett, please.
Hey, you know, I got a new bike.
Let's see. The first speaker spoke about access and this silly little tape you got here. I have to say it is an enormous pain in the ass for those of us who are not on 2 feet. That's my thing on that. Let's talk about the backpack giveaway. Great idea, very successful, loved it. There was some really good things about it, there were some embarrassing things about it, and there was some that's a shame about it. The embarrassing thing about it is, I understand one of our commissioners showed up and was told that she was not needed to volunteer. Now, I don't know about you folks, but I used to have volunteers all the time. I couldn't get enough of them where I worked. We put them to work. Every volunteer equaled a full-time employee. And we appreciated everything we did. We gave them awards, we gave them lunch, we gave them pats on the back, we gave them uniforms. If they were kids, I gave them little yellow stethoscopes so they could go home and listen to their hearts because they had big ones. Now, whoever the person was, and I'm not going to say it in public, but the person who told this commissioner that they weren't needed, I think that's pretty damn despicable. Now, as far as coverage, it's great. I really like that it was done on a Sunday. A lot of people were covered who had to work during the week, and I'm sure they all appreciated it. But there was one person who was working that weekend, and I heard about it, and I did something about it. I got her a backpack, and I also got her kid some flashy sneakers. And they're very happy about it. And I'm surprised that you didn't know about it, because she makes you breakfast quite a bit. Anyway, so that's that for that. I got one thing, I don't know if I got enough time to talk about it, with the bicycles. Yes, I am the author of the picture that got over 600 likes for the sheriff on a e-bike going high over silver in a wheelie and calling it the e-bike task force. It was hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't get to bed that night. I was laughing so bad. And with that, talking about the sheriff's department, I think the sheriff's department should volunteer some of these nice, healthy young men, like that guy back there in the corner, to dance with these sweet little old ladies at the senior party. As well as a couple of you guys, you look like, oh, look at the smiles on those faces. They look like they're eager, ready, and able. Should we make this a challenge? How many sheriff's office deputies versus how many fire department people? Well, I'm out of time. The other thing I was going to talk about was e-bikes next time.
Albert Bryan, please.
Albert Bryan, Deltona. You just heard a little bit ago from a young lady who had an issue with customer service. This has been going on since 1995. Why is it still going on? When somebody calls up, I would rather staff be polite, courteous, and I don't care how much they yell, how much they scream, how much they jump up and down. I've been in customer service most of my life. If you can't take and be polite on the phone to a customer, then why are you on the phone? Do we need to have a continuing education in how to be human, how to treat people properly? We used to have that here. Where'd it go? If this has been a continuous problem since 1995, that means it's not one single leader. It's systemic to the city. That means there is a true problem in the city with being polite. Why is that? And it's just not Public Works, not just the Water Department. It's most of the people we deal with. I've walked in this place many a times getting a PRR. I've never had an issue. But at the same time, I've heard arguments, little arguments, over stupid stuff. Is it really that difficult to take and be polite to your customers? Whether you want to believe it or not, we're all customers. We're also the people you represent. We pay their salaries. Is it really that difficult to take and have continuing education every year on how to be polite? But then the question is, why should we? If you're hiring people that are rude, why are we hiring people that are rude? Why can't we hire people that can be polite? This is a major issue, and it's been going on since I voted not to become a city in 1995. So let's take and look into this, because it starts in that seat right over there. Now, I understand you're not the man that's normally there, but why? Why has leadership not done the job that we've asked for since 1995? Communication is easy. Information is easy, but y'all make it so damn difficult. Why is that?
Myron Campbell, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I appreciate your time. My name is Myron San Miguel. I don't have any notes, so this will be kind of brief. Bear with me. I used to worked here for 3 years, and I loved every minute of it. So this is not what I'm about to say anything against the staff or how they handle business or the city in itself. I raised my kid here. I lived here for 10 years. But it came to my attention, and I'm not going to go into the agenda. I know that's not what this is for. However, on one of your items of your agenda for foreclosure, it was brought to my attention because my name is now wrapped up in that on documents recorded by the city after I worked here. There's 19 of them. I did a FOIA request. That's scary that there's 19 satisfactions on properties that have my name that say I put them together and that they're supposed to get back to me. That's terrifying. I don't know what else has been done. I used to trust the city when it came to that kind of stuff, and that's scary. First thing you learn in elementary school is put your name at the top of the homework. Somehow that got missed. And I got missed for a year and a half after I worked here. Put it, called the city manager, I changed out. I wrote a request to work with the city, have a meeting, figure out what's going on, and kind of go from there. But if this happened to any one of you guys, or anyone up there, you'd be calling your lawyer, freaking out, because it's brought up now because there's a possible foreclosure on the line. How many other things am I gonna get roped into for the next 20 years? Because that's how long liens live for, guys. So I don't know if they're right. I haven't had a full chance to dive into them because there's so many. It's just the start of my requests. Staff has been great, working with me trying to get everything, but I'm extremely concerned that I'm being put on documents that are legally binding to someone's property across the board that I didn't do. That's a gross oversight from a municipality that should be held to a higher standard. I know, I used to do the job. That's an issue. So please look into it. If we can schedule something, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
Jody Lee, please.
How y'all doing? I'm back. I just want to call out a couple of small things and I'll be done. I want to call out, I noticed that there's somebody on that bench, I won't say names, but they don't have much of a spine because they called me out on Facebook for not coming to a meeting or something. Sorry, I was dealing with a parent that was dying. Subsequently, I had buried that parent when a commissioner called me out. It was really nice and spineless of somebody that called me out when burying a parent. I appreciate it. Don't apologize because it wouldn't be real anyway. I'm just glad this is the first time I'm seeing it. And besides that, I love the charade thing you guys did with not calling for the assessment fee last meeting. It was great that you guys all worked together behind the scenes to cover each other's rears. That was pretty good. That was awesome. Because we all know it's not stupid. We've seen it. The other thing is I want to say something about this honoring a veteran that we do every month. It's great that we're doing it. I love it. And there's plenty of, we have veterans in this city who've been here for decades. But yet at the same time, we're honoring the city manager's son, someone else that's running for election. I don't know whose brain even came up with honoring a veteran that's running for election because the optics are really, really bad on it. It makes no sense whatsoever, especially seeing the mayor, you and the city manager yourself went to Commissioner Caldwell and said, you guys don't want this person to get elected. So it's kind of funny that this is happening now. It's really political. But I hope you guys all have a good night. Rich, I can't wait to vote for you.
Matt Morgan, please.
Hi, afternoon. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. A couple things I wanted to speak on was the couple of committees. A couple of us that come here all the time, we're on them. And I think with the e-bikes that just came out, it shows that it should have went to the committee. We should need to prioritize what goes to the committees. And so there is a couple standards that are out there. They're ISO 31000 and ISO 9001. We don't have to be certified in them. We can start adopting their practices, and they start giving us a way to use them. Most corporations use those same templates. Why don't we use them? It was actually brought up at the workshop on the 27th by the consultant that used those practices. He didn't say those exact ISO numbers, but that's exactly what it is. Do what we say what we do, prove it, and improve it. That's ISO 9001. That's exactly what they were talking about at that workshop. And then at that same workshop, they're talking about going through an ordinance that the ordinance committee just looked at. So why are we doing the same thing twice? So they're talking about environment, and we just approved that. We just went through that in the ordinance committee. So we're doing the same thing twice. So we're not talking to each other. The P&Z is doing one thing, ordinance committee is doing another thing, and we're doing the same work twice. Wasting the resources, wasting their time, wasting everybody else's, things. So why are we doing this over and over? So, like I said, it just seems like it could be done better. Like I said, if we had those practices, we would see what things are higher risk, what are lower risk, and get them done. We would have seen that, e-bikes was a little higher risk instead of doing, environment, a fire, or murals. We could have prioritized all that stuff. Chapter 66, that's been going on over 2 years now. We could have prioritized that, been done with it, and yet we're still here. So, like I said, there's a lot of things we can do. It's wasting money, it's wasting everybody's time, and so why don't we do resources better? Again, like that's been said, customer service has been a big issue with a lot of people, and then we have multiple veterans. I'm a veteran. There's the VFW, everything else. We could have choose better people than somebody who's coming up for elections. So, like I said, other than that, I think everybody's doing a great job. You guys being up on there, it takes a lot of courage. Everybody who sits here, works in here, you guys are a big target. So it's not easy. Everything you do and nobody likes, but you can't make everybody happy. So thank you for what you do, and I appreciate it.
That is public forum.
All right, we're gonna go to recess till 6:30.